So this is the demonstration segment of controlling the ball for the 5 fundamentals of foosball. Normally I like to start my practice sessions off with a little bit of 5-bar dribbling. So weaving it between each guy. You notice I'm doing a lot of hugging. I'll use that man there and hug it in. Kind of use that as a way or a little time in which I can get better control of the ball. As also, you want to be able to practice straight tic-tacs. Notice the ball, at least for me, doesn't control as nicely straight tic-tacking. There's a lot more work needs to be done to keep that ball in control as opposed to just doing a little drag thing. So same thing for the rod. Practice hugs. Tic-tacs. Same thing for the back. Hugs. I think for the back is one of the most important things because there's a good range of shots people do. You want to be able to hug it into there, get into that position quickly, be able to read from both sides if you kind of have a series from both sides. And then tic-tacs, kind of getting used to it. You know, you can test a push kick or a pull kick. Get used to what it feel like going off the back wall. Since the NTSF tables, the tornado version anyways, no longer have the wingers out here anymore, you must get used to practicing without relying on them. It might be a feeling it might be coming our way, but I'm not sure. So I'm trying to get used to not using them because they're quite nice. But anyways, so that's kind of like just being able to play around with it and get control of it. So some of the kind of the drills that I like to do to get loose ball control. One of my favorites is taking the ball in my hand, throw it off the back wall, and just catch the ball on another 5. And make sure you always show that you do have full control. You don't want to get into the bad habit of not really having control when you practice. You want to practice the same way you would within a real game. One thing about control, a lot of the time, there comes a point in time when it makes no more sense to try to get a man in front of it. If it's way out of here by the side, you just got to jam it against the wall. You get used to kind of seeing that quickly. When's that time to do that, and when's the time to actually still use the man in the normal fashion. So that's kind of the first thing about just general feel for the ball. Now there's 3 other aspects of loose ball, of getting control. And that's 1, when you have the ball, 2, when they have the ball, and then on general loose balls. So when you have the ball, there's certain things that you can practice that kind of like allow you to get that ball back if you didn't actually successfully complete your pass. One that I find quite useful is getting used to having your passes blocked and then being able to pick up that loose ball. So if I'm doing my stick series, say I want to go lane, and somehow they got blocked, you got to be able to get used to, if you didn't make your pass, you got to be ready to pick up whatever happens. So, whoops, that's nice. So it gives you a chance to practice that kind of stuff. Not in a real game. It's gonna get spiked. You gotta be able to be ready to react to it. Same thing with the wall pass. Just helps practice it. I need practice at that, but anyways, those are the 2 cases I'll show you. Same thing with shooting from whatever shot you do. If you shoot a pull shot, and if you're kind of decided on shooting a straight, then you can also get used to, if you get blocked on that straight and it comes back to you, being able to absorb that. Just be conscious of that. It helps me be able to practice that because it's going to happen in games. You're not going to make every shot. Same thing from back here when shooting. From here, I find the goalie, what the goalie and the forward can do, especially in doubles, is they can really, if they're on the same page, if the forward knows where the goalie is going to shoot, it's really good if the forward can focus their efforts. Say if the guy's going to do a pass down this side, the forward can then focus their efforts on this side of the table. They don't have to worry about this side of the table. If the guy signals you he's going to do a pull kick, well then now you can focus your attention here so that you can be ready for that pull kick in case it gets blocked. You can be ready for it here, or if it gets through, you know, and gets rebound off there, you're already paying attention to the right area of the table. Generally though, if you're playing with someone that you don't have signals with, then you can really, what I do, I focus right in the middle of the table. I'm kind of just gazing at the middle of the table, but then my periphery vision is kind of tracking the ball to see where he's going from, and then when that ball is released, I get down fast, and now I'm focused in the middle of the table and I'm fighting for that ball. Just trying to get down as fast as I can, trying to anticipate, you know, if this guy's over here and I think he's going to shoot a spray, well then you want to offset it a little bit. If he's shooting a lot of straight shots, well then you want to have your guy right in front of him, kind of thing. Little things like that make the difference that allow you to get that 1 or 2 extra balls per game. So that's a quick little bit on when you have the ball, things you can do. Generally, you know, practice and being able to execute what you want and read well allows you to successfully create your, you know, do your pass or shot. So that's priority 1. But if you don't, you know, be ready for it. So when they have the ball, lots of things you can do, especially if they're shooting from back. I really don't like people up here stuffing, because you notice when you stuff, you kind of have to swing through, and you're going to get, might go underneath you if you mistime it. Same applies for the 5. I've scored on lots of guys. I shoot a push kick, and they'll try to spike it. It goes right underneath them, and I score. So just stay in position, get a guy in front of the ball. You know, I like to have this guy back a little bit so that if it hits him, you have a chance to grab it. It's not, if you're spiked out like this, it might hit it. You might come back at them, but they're probably pretty good. They'll probably pick that up. So I like to be like this. Plus, it helps cut down angles. And then the 5 bar. You notice my 5 bar is like jittery and spiky like this. It's never it's never up here, but it's pokey kind of thing. So that if it comes out and it hits it, it's going to come back hard. It's not going to come. You know, if you're kind of just spiked out like that and it hits you, it might come out soft so that this guy gets it, and that's no good. So you might as well spike it out, spike it hard so it comes back. At least you have a chance to get it here. It might go in their net, or it might go back to them, and then you have another opportunity. One other thing, so when they're shooting from the back here, if I'm defending, it's really important, you know, don't do this kind of thing, but really important to be spiked out, but soft hands. This is one of the most important things about maintaining possession, is soft hands. The reason why the ball will come in, if it hits you, if you have soft hands, for some reason, some physics, I don't quite understand why, but I know it works, that if the ball hits you, it's going to hit you and come into you. Sometimes we'll have topspin and come into you, and sometimes you'll just absorb it. It's just amazing how often that works. As long as you have soft hands and that ball hits you, it's going to stay with you. It's not going to, like if you have hard hands and that ball hits you, it's going to come spiking out. And you're not going to get many spike stuffs from back here, so there's no use trying to spike out to try to score. So what's likely going to happen is you spike out, either you're going to get it here or here. So that's not good. So you want to have soft hands, you know, and be able to allow that ball to hit you. I wouldn't try to absorb it as it comes in, that's just dangerous. But really soft hands will help you absorb those shots. No matter how hard that shot is, you have those soft hands, for some reason it just deadens the ball and it stays in with you. Always be ready for balls off the back wall. Whoops. The ball comes off the back wall. Pretty much what I recommend people do whenever the ball is coming off one side, you get your man right in the corner, pointed right to the corner there just in case any slop happens down there. And then this guy's sole purpose is then to keep that ball in the area of his possession. So you can try to just get used to the habit, you know, like this one like that. This guy's, you notice my guy's right here by default, and this guy's in here just making sure he gets that ball and keeps it in. And you can back at it, you can do whatever you need to do to keep that ball in your zone. You don't have to be pretty about it. And the opposite thing happens on this side. If the ball's coming in that side, you know, we're down there with this one blocking that slop in the corner, and this one's just trying to keep that in. So now that allows you to get control so that, you know, the other guy doesn't. So now another thing when they have the ball, especially on the 5 bars, is one I'm surprised a lot of Pro Masters don't do. So a lot of guys, they'll come out here like this and they'll say you think they're going lane. And you come out there and they're spiking it like this a little bit, like thing like this. What's going to likely happen if, you know, they go lane, it's going to hit them, and then it's going to come back. I mean, what's the use in that? Or if you're not good about, you know, really where you are and not disciplined, if you're like in here like this and it hits you, and then it's going to come back. If you're really well positioned and, you know, then it's going to hit you and stick, or if you're well positioned and ready for the rebound, you can jump up and get it. That's another thing. But it's a little thing that you can do that I do quite a bit, and it works quite well for me. If you really have a good read on a guy's lane, and it's like a brush lane, brush is a little bit softer than a real stick pass. So you can actually come out and you can